Hey, farmers plant many of their vegetable seeds directly in the soil. It's interesting because the lawn spreader that you have, and you pull the lever and it opens up the bottom. There are seeders that you put in the hopper, and it does the same thing based on the seed, and it will click, 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 put the seed in the ground right for you. Now, we had a call on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline from Jan, and she bought some seed, and they recommended putting it right in the soil, and she was a little bit perplexed. Here's what her text said. I have tomato seeds from Burpee. They are the kind that you can plant directly in the ground. Never tried it before, but have you heard of this? Thanks, Jan. Yes, I have. But I still like starting seeds in cell packs or peat pots, or I'd like to get them started in there first. Because the seed in the soil, sometimes things can go wrong. It can be really wet. It can be washed out. It can be missing. Like larger seeds like squash or cucumbers or beans or peas, any of those, absolutely put right into the ground. Even watermelon, but not smaller seeds like tomatoes. And tomato seeds aren't that small, but it's still, I just like to see the plants grow and then be transplanted. And did you know that if your plants get overgrown, unfortunately, Bloomers, there are times where we have tomatoes in pots and they end up in their little pots, but they're 4 feet tall. Now, I'm exaggerating. They're probably about 2 feet tall. That you can plant that whole stem up to probably about, let's just say 4 inches from the first leaf. And that all along there, and sometimes you might see where there's bumps along the just above the soil line of where that tomato's been grown. Those are roots just waiting to come out. So you can put them in, but you can bury that stem. Now, if you're putting a seed in, you're kind of hoping that it's warm enough and it germinates enough. You can do it, but again, I love planting smaller seeds in packs or in cell trays so that you go and you can get them to come up there first, then transplant them in the garden. Just my preference. You need to get, obviously, cell packs or peat pots, but don't use regular potting soil. You want to use a seed starting soil, and that there are 2 good ones. One that we recommend is Coast of Maine Sprout Island Blend, and it's meant specifically to hold moisture around that seed, because all seed, whether it's grass seed, a vegetable seed, a flower seed, that there's a seed coat that protects that seed so that it doesn't get damaged, and that seed coat has to break down before it will sprout, and that it always sprouts the root first and then the top. And that's a lot of times why we say sometimes you need to winter seeding may not work in your lawn, and you got to make sure that there's seed to soil contact, because what will happen is sometimes if you plant them too deep, they'll end up rotting in the ground. So you need that good seed starting soil. And again, Espoma has organic seed starter. Both are good. And if you use either one of those, you'll have success. So it's Coast of Maine Sprout Island Seed Starting Blend and the Espoma Organic Seed Starter. And that's what you're going to put in your pots or your cell packs, and that you're going to start your seed in those. And again, you're going to put anywhere between 2 and 4 seeds per hole. And after they germinate, you're going to need to thin them out. So you don't plant like a clump of tomato plants, because they'll compete and you won't have a good yield. What you do is you let them grow a little bit and you keep the strongest plants. And it's the same thing pretty much with everything. So again, you can try it in the ground. Hey, why don't you try that? Try half of them in the ground and half of them in the cell packs, and then transplant them, see which ones do better. I like that idea.